At 15 years old, his own mother kicked him out of America and sent him across the ocean. Today, he's one of the most recognizable faces in calisthenics. But the story behind Goku Pump is far crazier than anything you've seen on social media. This is the story of Babatunde Aladetoyinbo, a kid caught between two worlds who transformed pain, exile, and obsession into an empire. In 1992, Babatunde was born in Brooklyn, New York, but New York would barely know him. His parents had a plan: secure American citizenship, then immediately send him to Nigeria. They wanted him raised the traditional way: discipline, respect, hard work. As a young boy, he lived between Lagos and Ondo State with his father. Then everything changed. His parents divorced, and the child who held an American passport was sent even deeper into rural Nigeria. There were no gyms, no protein shakes, and no social media, just survival. Before he ever touched a pull-up bar, he carried water across long distances and balanced heavy buckets on his head. Those daily struggles built something most people never develop: work capacity. But soon he would leave that world behind, and the next place he landed would nearly destroy his identity. At age 9, Babatunde returned to New York. The transition was brutal. One day he was a village kid in Nigeria. The next, he was navigating the streets of Brooklyn. Different culture, different language, and different expectations. For the first time in his life, he felt disconnected, like he belonged nowhere. He immediately realized he didn't look, sound, or dress like the kids around him. While many of his classmates wore the latest Jordans and fashionable sneakers, he remembered showing up in shoes from Payless. His trousers sat high above his ankles, a button-up shirt instead of the styles everyone else wore. To a young kid trying desperately to fit in, every detail felt magnified. Years later, he would reveal just how deeply those feelings affected him.
First day of school, and the teacher says my name, everybody started laughing. Weeks after weeks, it kept getting worse. Kids were picking on me, I was always called the African booty scratcher. The coolest kid in class in Nigeria is the smartest kid in class. But out here, the coolest kid is the kid that, gets suspended a little bad. Talk back to the teacher, he's fresh as hell. His parents spent mad money on his clothes, making sure he was fresh. That's the kid that's getting the most girls.
At this point of adolescence, Babatunde hated himself, hated his name, and would constantly question why his mother didn't just give him an American name. His mother didn't fully understand his struggle. She had spent most of her life in Nigeria, where traditional names, customs, and cultural identity were sources of pride. Like many teenagers searching for identity, he drifted toward the wrong influences. Then came the moment that changed everything. At 15 years old, his mother caught him smoking marijuana. She saw where the path could lead, and she made a decision most parents would never make. She sent him back to Nigeria.
My first time smoking weed, and she sent me back to Nigeria because of that. And she didn't send me back to my father's side. She sent me to her mother's side, my grandmother. My grandmother was living in the village, so there was no toilets. It was like you'd basically like shit in a plastic bag and throw it over the river. So that side was like, it was definitely tough.
No shortcuts, no distractions, and no escape. For the next several years, Babatunde lived under intense discipline. The rebellious teenager slowly disappeared, and in his place emerged something else: a young man obsessed with self-improvement, and after returning to America, that obsession would become extreme. If you're enjoying these mini documentaries and want to help us keep telling these stories with the deep dive research they require, consider supporting the channel directly. Head over to movetopounds.net to check out our official merchandise. Every piece helps fuel the next project, and we truly appreciate the support. Now, back to the video. Around age 19, Babatunde returned to New York permanently. This time, he wasn't interested in fitting in. He was searching for a mission. He found it in calisthenics, not commercial gyms, not machines, just bars, body weight, and pain. Most people in the calisthenics community knows him as Bam Bam, but he renamed himself Goku Pump, inspired by Dragon Ball Z's Goku. He adopted a philosophy of limitless growth. Every workout became a battle. Every set became a transformation. Most people train 1 hour. Some train 2. Goku Pump was training 6, 7, sometimes 8 hours a day after day, year after year. The result was a physique that many people refused to believe was natural. But building the body was the easy part. Building the audience was much harder. In 2015, he started a YouTube channel. Almost nobody watched. Views were slow and growth was painful. Behind the scenes, he was chasing a different future, a world of logic, structure, and formulas. He was building a fallback plan in mechanical engineering. An engineering degree promised stability, but the system wasn't working in his favor. To survive, he had to clock into a grueling full-time job, and because he was working, the government denied him any financial aid for college. His income was too high for a handout, but too low to actually survive. So he paid out of pocket, carried a full course load, and worked around the clock. And on top of it all, he had a child to raise. No sleep, no financial help, a baby to feed, plus a full-time job and an engineering workload that would break most people. Yet, every single night, he still found a way to turn on the camera. But human beings have limits. And after years of grinding between 4 different worlds, he nearly quit. If he had chosen a safe bet, walked away, and deleted that channel, nobody would know the name Goku Pump. Instead of quitting, he adapted. The challenges became bigger, the energy became louder, the content became impossible to ignore. Soon, his videos exploded across YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and TikTok. Millions watched. The world finally discovered this new branch of New York's calisthenics culture. But success brought criticism. Many claimed his physique was too impressive to be natural. Fitness forums accused him of using steroids. Goku Pump denied every allegation. According to him, his body is the result of genetics, discipline, and years of extreme training. Then there was his diet. Goku Pump built his brand around plant-based eating. Critics questioned how someone could maintain that much muscle without animal products. Supporters saw him as proof that traditional fitness rules weren't absolute.
Look at that definition right there. Look at that. See, steroids will give you an artificial look to the trained eye.
Yeah.
But when you got it from the dirt, it come from the earth. It's from the earth. This hard work. This ain't stolen work. This hard work.
Is it actually possible to spot a steroid user just by looking at him? Let's break down why this clip gets it completely wrong. In this video, a guy claims that performance-enhancing drugs always leave a distinct, artificial signature that only a trained eye can see. The idea that a trained eye can always spot an enhanced athlete is a complete myth. The concept of a trained eye only works when an athlete is abusing massive amounts of specific compounds. If someone is holding 240 pounds of pure muscle at 7% body fat, you do not need a trained eye to know they are enhanced. You just need basic math. The real issue is the massive gray area. A person can take milder compounds, low dosages, or specific cycles and simply look like a dedicated, genetically blessed natural athlete. The trained eye cannot see blood work through a t-shirt. The calisthenics branch of the fitness industry possesses an incredibly high level of relative strength and discipline, but it unfortunately has the least amount of accurate knowledge regarding exercise science and PEDs. Many bodyweight athletes assume that if someone isn't built like a massive 260-pound open bodybuilder, they must be natural. They do not realize that endurance, explosive power, and lean recovery can all be heavily artificially enhanced without adding a single pound of bulky muscle tissue. This lack of knowledge makes the community highly vulnerable to believe in fitness creators who claim to be natural just because they look attainable. To be perfectly clear, I am not saying Goku Pump is or is not on steroids. What I am saying is that his physique is the perfect example of why the guy in this video is wrong. Goku Pump has incredible genetics, elite conditioning, and high-level calisthenics build. Because his physique looks like a masterclass in natural peak performance, a trained eye cannot look at him and definitively claim he is using or clean. The tools simply do not exist to judge a borderline physique by sight alone. At the end of the day, the internet will always argue over who is natural and who is enhanced. But while the comment section was busy playing detective, Goku Pump was focused on expanding his empire. We are talking about legendary link-ups with creators like Vegeta Pain and Broly Games. A real-life Dragon Ball universe built around fitness. What started as a kid doing pull-ups in public parks evolved into a business. Goku Pump launched Calisthenics Department, turning his message into a global movement, training programs, apparel, coaching, a community built around discipline. But perhaps the most powerful part of his story isn't the muscles, it's the return. The boy who was repeatedly sent away now travels back to Nigeria by choice, investing, building, creating opportunities, giving back to the place that shaped him. Once an insecure kid who the girls laughed at, now he goes viral for picking girls up. Most people see the physique, others see the social media personality. But beneath the muscles is a story about identity. A child raised between continents, a teenager forced into exile, a man who turned discipline into purpose. Whether you believe every claim or question every controversy, one thing is impossible to deny. Goku Pump didn't just escape his past, he manufactured a new reality. Thanks for watching the video, and remember, don't smash Goku Pumps, girl. Smash the subscribe button.
Move the pounds, yeah, I'm